Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah.
A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Flying with the Foam on HJN. And I might as well refer back to when I talked about the stock shot here. And let me just tell you, the stock shot was certainly not alone when it comes to blasters that seem to double as attachments in the modulus lineup. Of course, it's common for modulus lineups to have accessories of all sorts. The modulus lineup pretty much hammered it down and milked it dry. The industry of, well, accessories and attachments and all that you can put on any Nerf blaster was pretty much a dream come true when it came to the modulus lineup. As far back as summer 2015, wow. Yeah, that's legit my reaction to the whole thing itself. It's just a WOW exclamation point. Wow. That's it. I don't really have much else to say about it then, but I guess my point about this is that this is the Barrelstrike, and well, it's just as you'd expect. It holds 4 darts, just like the stock shot, but instead of it being a stock, it happens to be a barrel attachment. Take, per se, the Sierra Major, which I had already talked about before. Take its barrel off and replace it with this. And now you got yourself a barrel on the top here with a pretty big iron sight, as a matter of fact. I don't really know if that counts as an iron sight because, well, it's pretty thick for what it is. But it also doubles as its own blaster and even a foregrip. I mean, it's a lot like having some weapons on an actual firearm attached to the bottom, like a Master Key shotgun. This is very similar to that kind of concept in the real world of firearms and rifles, but in this regard, I feel like that it seems to be overtaken a lot, because way back in the day, we had the Dart Tag 1.0, which simply put had blasters like the Strike Fire, Fury Fire, Storm Fire, and Eliminator. But the Strike Fire, of course, had those little claws down on the bottom. If you don't remember when I talked about the gripper, that's basically the same exact thing. Little claws that can actually be pulled out a little bit wider to be able to fit onto the tactical rail of another blaster or on another attachment. Of course, this kind of follows a similar sort of concept to it, except, well, here, the blaster pretty much has its own integrated stock, which is just set on some hinges and spring action to pretty much allow for it to be turned into a blaster. And then with the press of a button, it turns back into, well, a barrel with the blaster underneath it, which you can then put onto another blaster. So, the way I see this, I don't really know what else I could probably say about this, because this is pretty much just it. The Barrelstrike is just that. It's a dart blaster with 4 barrels in a square shape similar to the stock shot, but it turns into a barrel instead of a stock. Of course, I already talked a lot about the stock shot and, well, some of its main functions, but the way that the modulus lineup has been handling now, with having little to no attention given to it, although there has been a little attempt of a comeback here in 2021 where the Ghost Ops series, which has kind of been short-lived for what it is. It only had 2 blasters so far, and it did have a couple accessory kits pretty much. But we are supposed to be getting another accessory kit from the modulus lineup, so here in 2021, I could probably just say that Hasbro might be attempting to bring this lineup back. And I don't really know if they'll do anything about the Rebel lineup or Alien Menace or the AccuStrike lineup, but I guess we'll find out down the line. But this is just one of the only examples in recent times where you could say that the modulus lineup has been getting a little desperate for what it is. I don't really say that it's a bad blaster. Probably the worst thing I would say is that, well, sometimes the smart AR system and the barrel slots themselves, they aren't very good with accepting darts, and I can prove this to you. So just by grabbing a handful of darts from, well, the table of blasters that I've already talked about here this past week, well, look at that. I'll try the other barrels. Okay, that one fits alright. That one doesn't fit bad. And this, well, so even if I try to replace it with another dart, well, okay, it looks to be working just fine. Let's see if I can, well, keep it all together. I mean, it's okay, really, in some ways. But the fact that it has barrels that don't really seem to register the darts in and allow for them to just nestle in there is kind of crappy. So, I mean, I don't really know what to say. This blaster, I don't know if it's kind of average for the most part. It does all right as a barrel and as a blaster that can, well, sit underneath the barrel. Similar ways to how the Strike Fire or sometimes other blasters could sit underneath another blaster or another barrel of a blaster, just like that. Well, that's pretty much all I'm going to be talking about for today, but just so we're clear, I'm certainly going to be having a lot of other things that I'm going to be talking about here as well, here on HJN, Flying with the Foam, or otherwise. So if you want to see more go down on my channel, then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.